Hi, my name is Emily. I own Emailing with Emily. It is a tech and automations business. So what I do is I help business owners kind of set up all of the back end things that they need to let their email list kind of run for them. Because I don't know about you guys, but I get super busy and I forget to write emails or check in with things because I'm just doing literally everything else. So, I created a lot of email systems that allow kind of my emails to run on their own, sell on their own, and people still feel connected to me. And even though it's automated, it doesn't feel automated for my subscribers. And so now I help other people do that for themselves. And so today I was invited to come here and talk, and the topic that I chose to talk about is from freebie to repeat buyer, the cozy email system for TpT sellers. My entire email framework is called the cozy method, and we will get into that later in the slideshow. I am a cozy person. I would pick pajamas or sweatpants or anything all day long. I work from home. I have 3 kids. That's just kind of how my life is. So the more cozy I can be, the better. So, again, I'm a hockey loving Christian mom of 3 kids under the age of 5. My kids are 5, 3, and 1. I live in Colorado and I've been hockey obsessed for probably close to 11 years of my life. My 5-year-old plays hockey and me and my husband play fantasy hockey. It's a whole hockey thing. And that's what I built my business for, so I would be able to homeschool my kids so that they could live out their sports dreams. Um, but anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and get into the presentation. Um, if at any point you have any questions, try to save them for the end. But if you feel like it's something that you're gonna forget, type it in the chat. That way I can make sure I get to it right at the end. So without further ado, let's get started. So the first thing I want to say is that most TPT sellers are leaving money on the table. So, kind of to start with the truth, a lot of TPT sellers are creating incredible resources. Like, truly, I don't know how you guys do it, but you guys make amazing products that teachers need. I am not that creative. I am such an analytical person. But I know that sales can still feel really unpredictable because maybe one month is amazing. You hit a new seasonal trend, and then the next month feels painfully slow. And usually it's not because your products aren't good enough. It's because you're relying almost entirely on your teachers pay teachers traffic to get eyes on your products. And yes, that kind of traffic can absolutely bring in sales. I'm not saying that it can't. But if someone clicks away and doesn't buy, you have no way to follow up. Or maybe they download your freebie and then you don't send an email for a couple weeks because you get busy. There's no nurture, there's no relationship, there's no reminder that you exist. So once they click off of you, you're gone, you're out of their mind. And if you are emailing, a lot of times you are probably putting together last minute or kind of random emails. Like, oh shoot, there's a sale tomorrow. I should send something. And one of the biggest missed opportunities I see is after someone buys. So instead of turning that buyer into a repeat customer, you're just letting them disappear. That's kind of the facts. So really what's happening is you're getting downloads, you're getting clicks, maybe you're even getting some sales, but you're not building a long-term system that's going to be bringing those people back because they'll probably buy from you once and then not again. And that kind of sucks because it would be nice to have people who are consistently coming to you for all of their needs. So, in this talk today, here's what you're going to walk away with. Today, I want to simplify this for you. By the end of this training, you're going to know how to turn freebie downloaders into actual paying customers, not just people who collect free stuff and disappear. You'll learn how to create a simple email system that runs in the background, so you're not constantly manually trying to make sales happen. We want something that's going to send automatically. They come in and they're automatically getting emails, and you don't have to push a single button. That's the goal. You'll know exactly what emails to send, when to send them, because I know one of the biggest struggles is just staring at the screen wondering, okay, but what do I actually do? I've left a lot of these trainings being like, okay, that was great, but I don't really know what to do. No, trust me, I'll give you your next steps by the end of this. And then most importantly, we're going to talk about how to create a path that leads to repeat buyers because the easiest sale is usually from someone who already knows, likes, and trusts you. And again, we'll also be talking about trust because trust is going to be one of the big key factors to someone repeat buying from you or buying in general. So yep, you're going to leave with clarity, no more guessing, no more random emails, just a simple system. Okay, that'll work for you guys. Okay, so. Why isn't that TpT traffic powerful enough? Because you're probably thinking like, oh, Emilee, like I'm getting some hits. Like the TpT traffic is working. Okay. And I want to be clear, I'm not anti-TpT traffic. It can be amazing. It can put your products in front of buyers. I get that. But the problem is it's borrowed. You don't control when people see your products. You don't control the algorithm. You don't control what other competing resources show up next to yours. And you definitely can't follow up with people who just browse and leave. So if someone looks at your resources and thinks, maybe later, later usually never comes. And because there are thousands of sellers on the platform, you're constantly competing for attention. Then, if there's a slow season or a change in buyer behavior or the algorithm shifts, your sales can dip so, so fast. That's why I like to think about it in this way. Marketplace traffic is borrowed. Your email list is owned. Your email list is something you can control. You can control the message, you control the timing, you control the relationship. And when you start building that relationship outside of TpT, you create more consistent sales. So, why email changes everything? Email turns one-time buyers into repeat customers. This is where email changes everything. Email gives you a way to continue the conversation. So instead of someone downloading your freebie and forgetting your name 5 minutes later, you can follow up. You can welcome them. I typically say after about 24 hours, you should have another email landing in their inbox, welcoming them, telling them about you, explaining your TpT store, your story, kind of giving them that connection that like, oh yeah, I just bought from this person. It's cool that I'm getting to know them a little bit more. I'm starting to trust them a little bit more. You can recommend something else that they'll love. You can build that trust all before you ask for a sale. They're getting a freebie and they're getting to know you without having to spend a dime. Hallelujah. They're going to love that. And because trust matters, people buy from people they know. I don't know about you, but most of the time when I am buying a product or buying a service, I find someone that I know first, and I'll try to buy from them because I want to support my friends. I don't want to support some random person. I mean, I will if I don't know anybody in there, but I would rather support my friends. So, I guess for example, back to school resources before school starts, test prep resources before testing season, holiday or seasonal activities when teachers are actively searching. And because you're constantly showing up in their inbox, that's how that trust is built, and that's how you stay top of mind. So when they need a resource, they think of you first. Kind of like when I need my hair done, I think of my friend Melody first. I'm actually going to see her tomorrow. And that's kind of how you turn people into repeat buyers. You become their friends, you connect with them, and you use your email list as not just a list. It's a reliable sales system when it's built strategically. So I'm going to tell you about Chloe. Chloe, or Client C as I put on here, I of course just said her name. She is a teacher with a TpT store. I love her. She's amazing. She has a pretty big following, and I helped her out with her email list for a while. Um, did she have an email list when we started? Yes. When did she send her last email before we got started? It was 3 weeks before. And her buyers typically got like email after their freebie or after their purchase just saying thank you for your purchase. And then she would be like, oh yeah, I have this sale I want to do. And then she would start emailing everyone again to like butter them up for their sale. So it was super sporadic emails. And she was relying solely on the new buyers and then hoping that her old buyers would buy from her when she started sending those sporadic emails, just because they were on her list. She was like, well, they're on my list. They obviously like me. Like, they should buy from me, right? Even though I haven't emailed them in forever. So, when she ended up working with me, and we implemented a welcome sequence, some nurturing, some scheduled emails. We would schedule out an entire quarter in advance. That way she didn't have to think about her email list for like 3 months. She went from a 25% open rate with maybe 2% of people actively like clicking to go to the resource to possibly buy it to a 62% open rate with 12% of people clicking on the link and potentially buying it. And while these may not seem like wow numbers, they you have to realize that she has like tens of thousands of people on her email list. And so 12% of that, she had a lot of people buying her resource by the time we were done. All because she actively nurtured and really worked on building that trust with them and was consistently showing up that when they were like, I need a resource, they were like, let me see what Chloe's got in her store before I go anywhere else. So that is exactly why I do what I do, and that is exactly why I think every TpT seller needs to have an email list and needs to be building trust in the inbox. So now let's talk about what happens when someone joins your email list. Because not everyone who joins is ready to buy immediately. Honestly, most aren't. So, every subscriber's on a journey. Usually it starts when they grab your freebie. Maybe it's a free worksheet, a lesson plan, a checklist, or a classroom resource. At this point, they're a freebie downloader. They're interested, but they're not sold. Then they become a new subscriber. This is their journey. This is where they're getting to know you. They're learning your style, your resources, and whether or not they want to trust you. Then they move into being a warm lead. Now they're opening emails, they're clicking links, and they're paying attention. Then they become a buyer. The first sale is huge because now they've trusted you enough to pull out their wallet. Then, ideally, they become a repeat buyer. They come back for more resources because they had a good experience. And eventually, they become a loyal fan. Those are the people who open every email, buy often, and maybe even recommend your store to others. Your job with email is to help people move through this journey. I see so many sellers wanting them to go from freebie downloader to loyal fan right away without putting in the work. But as much as it does suck and take time, you have to go through the buyer journey. Otherwise, they're never going to reach that loyal fan status. And once you have people hitting that loyal fan status, you have new people coming in, and you just constantly have people hitting the next status, the next status, next status. And they're on top of each other, and you have a bunch of loyal fans starting to come into your inbox. I hope all of this is making sense so far. Now, what your subscribers are going to need at each stage. And honestly, this is where most sellers get stuck at. So a freebie downloader, this is, I'm going to tell you guys now, this is going to be the part that you're going to want to write down. So make sure you're writing. When you're freebie downloader, one of the first few emails that you need to send them is you need to get them a quick win and you need to build trust. They need help using the freebie, they need to see value quickly, and they need a reason to stay subscribed. So you need to show them like actual results of other teachers. You need to be showing them why people trust you, giving testimonials. This is the stage where you're building trust. You're having them get to know you, and you're showing them why your resources are valuable. And it kind of also blends into the next one as well. It's really hard to distinguish these two, but the new subscriber also needs connection and value. This is where you're introducing yourself, sharing helpful tips, and building familiarity. Next, you finally move into kind of your warm lead. These are the people who need proof and a solution. This is where you can start showing them products that solve their problem. Testimonials help here, examples help here, and specific recommendations help here, which we will talk about specificity, I can never say that word, a bit later. But if you have an email platform, you have a way to tag or segment your subscribers. This is where you want to send like segmented like sales pitches. Because somebody who buys your math resource isn't really going to want to hear about your English resource, right? If you have multiple different subjects or multiple different grades, you really want people to hear about a solution that meets their problem, which means you want targeted sales. So fifth grade teachers want to hear about fifth grade resources and solutions. Second grade teachers want to hear about second grade resources. So this is where you have to be specific with what you're sending each person, and there is a way to automate all of that, I promise. Now, once you move on to the next step, a buyer. Um, a buyer needs support and a next step. Don't stop emailing them after a sale. Help them use what they bought to then recommend related resources. Again, we're going to be using those tags and those segments to really push whatever that specific teacher is going to need next. Then they move into a repeat buyer. They need loyalty and relevant offers. Reward them. Show them things based on what they've already purchased and then reward them. 20% off here, 10% off here. Oh, like you've purchased 10 things, here's a free thing. Like you want to reward them for being a repeat buyer. And then the loyal fans, exclusives. They love them. Sneak peeks, special discounts, early access, VIP treatment. Treat them like gold. If they're coming too often, treat them like they matter. When you send the right message at the right stage, sales are going to feel so much easier. Now, let's talk about the most common mistake I see. The first one is no welcome sequence. Someone joins your list and here's crickets. That's a huge missed opportunity because the first few days are when they are the most engaged. Another mistake is only emailing during sales. If every email is buy this, buy that, people are going to tune you out. They're going to see your email and be like, oh, I don't want to read another sales email. And they're going to delete it before they even open it. Another common mistake is selling too soon. If someone just joined your list 5 minutes ago and you're immediately pitching, they may not trust you yet. But on the flip side, some sellers never make an offer. They send helpful emails forever, but never actually tell people what to buy. And then another big one, again, as I've been talking about on the last slide, segmentation. If you're sending kindergarten math resources to a middle school ELA teacher, that email is probably not going to convert. And finally, no follow-up after purchase. A sale should not be the end of the conversation. It should be the beginning of the next conversation. Okay? Fixing just one or two of these mistakes can make a huge difference in your sales. So now, again, this next slide is going to be where you guys are going to want to write, and it's going to seem a little overwhelming at first, but you got to trust the process. This is going to be your ideal email flow. Your initial email is going to be the welcome, the freebie, the thank you, depending on how they got on your list. If they just joined your list because you had to join my email list, you want a welcome email. If they joined from the freebie, they want the freebie. If they joined from a purchase, a thank you email. So depending on how they joined, they're going to get that initial email. You're going to wait 24 hours and then you're going to start what I like to call the welcome sequence, or what most people call is the welcome sequence. This is going to be 3 to 7 emails welcoming them. You're going to want to talk about who you are, your background, what you offer, what teachers you serve, some testimonials, um, just kind of really anything to help them get to know you and build trust, which you can use my cozy method, which again, we'll talk about honestly shortly after this. I think it's up next, if I'm remembering my own slideshow correctly. Um, the cozy method is a great thing to use, which I will give you guys the link to soon, is a great way to welcome people and learn how to really connect and bring yourself into your emails. Because a lot of people think emails are still super stuffy and corporate. I promise you they're not. Use fun colors, use bubble letters. I don't care what you use, just make it you and really welcome them so that they can build that trust with you. So when they see your name pop up, they're like, "Ooh, what does she have for me this time?" Or "What does he have for me this time?" Once your welcome sequence is finished, you're going to wait 48 hours or however long until your next broadcast. Some people call them broadcasts. They can go by different names, but essentially, this is just your weekly or however often you want to send emails. This is just going to be your weekly email that you send to pretty much everyone, kind of like a blanket email that you send to your entire list, just kind of keeping them in the loop what's going on. Again, you can connect in here, you can sell in here. Broadcast emails are for anything. They're kind of a catch-all. You want to give them a few weeks because you just really overload them by welcoming them. You want to give them a few weeks to decompress and just see you regularly in their inbox. After a few weeks of regularly being in your inbox, you're going to want to start what I call the nurture sequence. This is 2 to 4 emails connecting to build trust and remind them of who you are. This is essentially a shortened version of your welcome sequence. You're not exactly welcoming them, but you are establishing trust and reminding them of who you are. And then after 48 hours after that, again, I know, stay with me. I know it's time and when should I send what. This can all be automated, and I can definitely help you with that if you need help. This can all be automated, and once it's set up, you don't even have to think about it. 48 hours after you reconnect with them, you're going to do targeted sales. This is where those segments are going to come in handy, where you're going to send the kindergarten teacher their resources, the fifth grade teacher their resources, but you'll send 3 to 5 emails really pushing whatever you are choosing to sell at that time. And that way they're like, wow, I built trust. I really got to know this person. Oh, wow, they're offering me the exact thing I need right this minute. Heck yeah, I'm gonna buy it. So that's what the targeted sales is. And then after that targeted sales like sequence is done, they'll go right back into broadcasts and you'll kind of just repeat broadcast, nurture, sell. You'll just continue that for the lifespan of them. Sometimes you can go broadcast, nurture, sales, back to nurture, and then sales, nurture, sales, and then back to broadcast. You can really kind of play with it at that point. But once they're kind of in that loop-de-loop right there, that's kind of where they stay, and that's how you can continue with them. I know I'm talking a lot, and I'm so sorry, but now we're getting into my email framework, I believe. Let me check. Yes, we are getting into my framework. Um, the cozy method. I came up with this method. It's tried, tested. I have taken people to 67% open rates with this, and it's all because people really want to read your emails when you use this method. So let's go over it really quick. C is for connection. People don't buy from strangers. They buy from people they trust. So connection, connectivity, whatever word you want to use. It's kind of the foundation for everything, in my opinion. Because before someone buys from you, they need to know you. They need to recognize your name in the inbox when they see your name pop up. They need to feel familiar with your brand, use your colors, your logos, whatever it is. And they need to trust that your resources are worth the money. That's where building that connection comes in. A lot of TpT sellers focus so much on getting the freebie download that they forget what happens next. But grabbing a freebie does not create a buyer. Connection does. Connection in the inbox helps you build trust quickly. It helps you stay at the top of the mind. So when that teacher needs a resource next week, next month, next semester, they think of you first. And the stronger the connection, the easier selling becomes. Because instead of feeling like you're pitching to strangers, you're talking to people who already know, like, and trust you. That's how you turn freebie seekers into real buyers and eventually repeat buyers. One of the biggest mistakes people make is trying to sell before the trust is built. Trust comes first. For TpT sellers, trust can be real simple. Uh, Share helpful teaching tips. Solve a small classroom problem. Show creative ways to use your resources. Tell relatable stories for teachers to connect with. And if you have proof or results, share those too. The more someone trusts you, the easier the sale becomes. Next, after connection, is organize. This is where things start feeling really smart in your email system. Not everyone on your list wants the same thing. Someone teaches kindergarten, like I said earlier, they probably don't need a middle school science resource. So organizing your list does matter, I promise. A lot of people overlook this step. It is so, so important. You can segment by grade level, by subject, by resource type. You can tag people based on what freebie they've downloaded, or whether they bought from you before, or even what they purchased. This lets you send the most relevant emails, which means better opens, better clicks, and better sales. So not every subscriber, like I was saying, should get the same email. You need to send emails that are relevant to them and avoid annoying your subscribers. That's another big, big thing. I have been subscribed to someone before who has sent 2 emails a day when they were doing a sales push, and it was a resource I absolutely did not need in my business. I just felt like I was just another name on their list, and I unsubscribed from them so very quickly. So, do not annoy your subscribers, and organizing your list can help you do that because they will feel like all of the emails they're getting are relevant to them and will make them want to buy. So, we talked about CO, connect, organize, Z, zero in. Okay, this is honestly my second to last favorite. Y is 100% my favorite, but zeroing in. This is about sending the right offer at the right time because timing does matter. Again, I know a lot of this can feel really complicated. You have to send things at the right time. You have to like space things out the right way. It's a lot simpler than it sounds. So, teachers buy differently throughout the year, right? Most of you know this. Back to school season is going to be different from testing season. December is different from like April. Like you guys just got through April, it's May. Most of them are about to go on summer break, so probably have a feeling your guys' sales are a little low right now. But you can also send offers based on pain points. What are they struggling with right now? Behavior matters. If they clicked on a reading resource, send more reading related products. If they bought one classroom management product, offer a bundle of a related item. Kind of really honing in on what they already purchased. So honestly, zero in can go a little bit with organize, but you want to take that organization you made and then really hone in on all the specificities that they need to then be able to sell to them the best way. So zeroing in is all about precision. This is where email stops feeling random. You're not going to be sending those random 2 a.m. emails that you just like, oh my God, I had this thought. Let me email it to my entire list. Email is going to start feeling very strategic for you because instead of blasting the same email to everyone, you're paying attention to what your subscribers are telling you. If they clicked your reading resource, that tells you they're interested in reading resources. If they downloaded a classroom management freebie, that tells you they have a problem they're trying to solve, aka classroom management. If they bought a test prep bundle, you know that they need things related to resources that have to do with testing next. Timing matters. A teacher shopping in July has different needs than a teacher shopping in December. So zero in means looking at behavior, timing, and needs, then sending the most relevant message. So that's when sales kind of feel a lot easier because the email feels helpful and not so random. So it all is really in the timing. And finally, again, this one's my favorite. Uify. I know it's not really a real word, but it's a real word to me. Um, so this is what's going to make your emails stand out. People don't want emails that feel cold or corporate. They want emails that feel like personal. I personally use like a lot of GIFs and colors in my email just because I'm a silly person like that. You guys have probably noticed throughout here that I just kind of have this bubbly over the top personality and it comes across in my emails because you're writing your emails Hopefully not AI is not writing your emails. I mean, if you need AI help, it's totally okay. But AI shouldn't write your whole email. Your emails should be written in the way that you would talk to someone, because again, that's how you build connection with someone. You want to be relatable, be conversational, be helpful. The more kind of you are in your emails, the more people are going to connect with you because they're like, oh my God, that person was so cool, or oh my gosh, I relate to that person so much. I want to stick around with them. And honestly, this is where the magic happens because strategy matters, but personality is what creates connection. Your subscribers are not just buying worksheets or lesson plans. They're buying from you, your ideas, your style, your approach. There are probably hundreds of test prep bundles out there, but why would they pick yours? It's because they like you. They like your style. You need to feed into that. You're relatable, recognizable, and when they open your email, they should instantly feel like, yep, this sounds like her. This is especially important because teachers get a lot of emails, and a lot of them sound the same. Very corporate, very generic, very boring, very parent annoying. But when your email sounds like you, it stands out. Think teacher next door vibes. Helpful, friendly, easy to read. The goal is consistency too. The way you sound on TpT, on social media, and in your emails should feel connected because familiarity builds trust and trust leads to sales. So you need to have a cohesive brand. So if your branding is not consistent, I would work on that as well. By now, this might feel like a lot, and I want to make this simple for you. You do not need to build a million automations overnight. I know I hit you with a lot, but you don't need a complicated funnel. We should just start with the basics, okay? So, step one, create one really good freebie if you don't have one. If you don't have one, I actually have a free resource. Speaking of freebies, I have a free resource on how to teach you how to come up with a freebie challenge that's a little bit more fun than a PDF. But something that solves a quick problem for your ideal buyer. Step two, build one welcome sequence. A simple set of emails that delivers the freebie, builds trust, and leads to an offer. And then step three, just make an offer. Something relevant and easy to say yes to, and an offer that alone can start creating more consistent sales. So, again, three things that I want you to do after this, whenever you have the next time, is to take your freebie. If you don't have one, make a freebie. Build a welcome sequence. Again, 3 to 5 emails, 3 to 7. Um, Welcoming someone into your world, teaching them all about you. And then 3, making an offer. A really good offer that they can't refuse. That's it. That's all you have to start with. So, what to send first? If you're wondering where to begin, let's start here. Email 1. Deliver the freebie immediately. Oh my gosh, I cannot stand it when I sign up for a freebie and I don't immediately get an email in my inbox. I'll get it like an hour later and I'll be like, where the heck was this? Deliver the email immediately. Have that set up to send right when they click get it. Email 2. Give them a quick win. Help them use the freebie. Share a tip. Sorry, email 2 through 4. Help them use the freebie, share a tip, teach them something valuable, and then email 5, make the offer. It could be a related resource, bundle, or product they'll love. Something that's related to the freebie that you kind of built emails 2 through 4, kind of getting them ready for. Simple. That's going to be your welcome sequence. Okay? Now, you don't have to wait weeks to start seeing progress. There are quick wins that you can implement this week, like this week. Add your freebie link to your TpT store. Start collecting your emails consistently. Write just 3 welcome emails. Segment subscribers. Start recommending another product after a purchase. All of these small changes can create momentum very fast because you're piecing their buyer journey together. So let's recap. Connect by building trust. Organize by segmenting smart. Zero in by sending strategic offers. And unify by making your emails feel personal. That is how you move people from freebie to repeat buyer. So maybe you're sitting here thinking, okay, this all makes sense now, but maybe you're also thinking, I don't have the time or honestly the desire to set all this up by myself. And I get it because creating the resources, running your store, and marketing your business is already a lot. That's exactly why I offer the Comfy Setup, Comfy Cleanup if you already have an email system. My Comfy Setup is a done-for-you service where I build your email system for you. This can include setting up your email platform or migrating you from another platform, setting up your freebie or your opt-in forms, building your welcome sequence, organizing your tags for you, connecting all the back-end tech, and making sure everything runs smoothly. So instead of piecing it together yourself, you can have a strategic system built for you and then go back to doing what you do best, creating those amazing TPT resources. If you want to chat more about the Comfy setup, you can DM me on Instagram, or I'm also going to put like a bunch of links in the chat here in a minute, and I'd love to talk. But this makes anything you have feel natural by just having a system that works for you. I want to thank you all so much for hanging out with me today. I hope this made email feel simpler and less overwhelming. Hopefully, all of that information wasn't too overwhelming, but I hope you can see how powerful all of these systems can make for your TPT business.